29th December, Thursday, MAO with Cal. This is another must-watch video. Alright, there's loads of information coming up, especially if you want to know the exact situation in China right now. But first of all, the more important thing is this. Retailers are still buying stocks, and the Koreans are the one buying Tesla, and they bought quite a fair bit recently again. But if you ask me, this is not going to be the end, because usually a capitulation will come when the retailers are buying and the boys are selling, and when they come to the point whereby the price keep on going down, that's where the retail cut their losses and the boys will just buy back. Alright, so more detail coming up very shortly. Alright, once again, disclaimer apply as usual, and make sure that you do your risk assessment. And thank you AIMS for the kind sponsorship. Now, where Santa Claus went? Well, apparently we can see last night the Dow Jones lost 365 points. Oh my god, down more than 1%. And Nasdaq lost 143 points, and the S&P 500 lost 46 points. Okay, if you look across the board, everything was pretty bad. Microsoft down 1%, Google 1.5%, Apple down the most 3%, Amazon down by 1.47%. But very interesting, and something that I share with you, Tesla rebounded 3.3%. Hey, that's not bad, right? Exactly. I shared you yesterday, 109 will be a very important technical level. Most likely it will rebound, and truth be told, it did. Alright, so let's see what I shared with you. Now, yesterday, I shared with you about Tesla. I said that it will go down to about 109. It will stop there temporarily. There will be a technical rebound to about 115 area, and then after that, another round of selling should bring it down all the way to $92. Alright, let's watch this video and see if you remember that. Let's bring in the video right now. RSI reading now is at 16. That is very, very low for any stock. But the thing is this, I have shared with you guys, when I saw the RSI getting so close to one another, I know that this is actually a bear market for this particular counter. So any recovery is going to get some sellers. So I'm not even half surprised to see there'll be some rebound coming in a little bit. But once it loses 110, the next number could be as low as $92. Now that is a level that I mentioned some time ago, and I said that if the 138 couldn't hold the 92, it can happen, okay? So once again, guys, if you actually watched my video yesterday, you could have seen this chart and you would know that a rebound. So some people actually went to short Tesla yesterday, which I was like, okay, you can go ahead, but I'm not going to do that. So this is why it's so important to know your technical well, and also be mindful that if certain thing doesn't happen, you just can't force it. All right. So what is happening right now on Tesla again? Well, apparently Elon Musk just came on Twitter. Don't be the clown on the clown car. All right. I don't understand this, honestly. If you know what does it mean, put in the comment box. Okay. I really don't know what it meant, because I went through internet and there was no much clarification on this. And he put that too late. Haha. Elon. All right. So the thing is this, the retail investors trader are buying load of this Tesla. So apparently from Bloomberg, okay, Korea day traders are net buyers of Tesla for the third straight month. Wow, okay. So they bought in as much as $2.8 billion worth of Tesla this year. So the thing is this, they are buying and the boss is selling. Alright, in fact, this month alone, the day traded at under 160 million US dollars, while this stock tumbled 44% at the same time. Take a look here. Alright, this is how it is right now. They have been buying Tesla. So wait a minute, Tesla share been going down, right? Exactly. So the last few months, Tesla share been going down. The boss himself, Elon Musk, have been dumping his share to basically take money to pay for his Twitter, and yet people are buying. Now, I've been a trader for more than 20 years. When we see all this itself, we all know that this is not going to end good. Okay, we've seen this before. I'll share with you later on. So let's take a look at Tesla share. All right, this is Tesla shares, and I purposely going to show you now where the Korean went in to buy. All right, let's take a look here. Okay, so take a look. The Korean bought in February. Not too bad. They bought it somewhere around here. And of course, Tesla share came down, or probably they came in just before the month February ends. And let's say we give them the benefit of doubt. They bought at the low, and of course, they have profited from there. That's good. So this buy was pretty okay. Then in May itself, they bought the most. Okay, look at it in May. This is about mid-May when the price was coming down, and they've been buying. Then of course it held for nearly 2-3 months before it went up, and by the time it went up in August, you can see that they took some profit from the market. So maybe the Koreans are very good traders. Okay, in September, where they dumped the most, okay, for this year, you can see that, wow, look at it, the share price really came off. So I just kind of like, wow, these Koreans are pretty good, right? I mean, they seemingly are able to buy at the sweet spot, dump at the best spot. But the thing is this, the last 3 months, if they've been buying, as you can see right now, from October onwards until now, Tesla shares has been going down. So, spell trouble, right? Exactly. So that is my view here. If they have been buying so much, okay, because it's a 3 consecutive month of buying, so you can understand that in total itself, right, they bought maybe nearly, if I'm not wrong, nearly $1.2 billion worth, and they are now all on losses. So if Tesla is to go down to $92, I'm going to tell you that I believe they will cut their losses, especially the 100 century mark itself. Because if that is going to be a key point to watch out for, this can be very bad. So if you ask me, this buy itself, yesterday buy is very technical. There's no reason to buy Tesla for long term. And of course, yesterday, the volume itself is really big, okay? Yesterday, volume was so much larger as compared to the last few days. And if you combine the last few days, volume is so much bigger than the overall volume the last 2-3 months. So all this tells you that this stock is definitely being highly watched, and of course I just feel that this is going to end bad, right? Because now we have people actually saying this: Tesla is the greatest company to exist. I invested $15 million into Tesla at $540 per share, and I'm still holding strong. Now I'm down $12 million, and I'm doubling down right now. In fact, I mortgaged my house and convinced my parents to dump their life saving into the stock. And he's looking at 2,000. Okay, let's just be upfront here, guys. Okay, now how real is this? We won't know. But to be honest with you, sharing, not too bad. But this is just only yesterday. That means that 2 days ago, whereby this tweet came out. So the question comes in. All right, have we seen this before? Yes, of course. Remember this? When Michael Saylor came in and tell people, mortgage your house and buy Bitcoin, and that was on 31st December 2021. And what happened to Bitcoin? Oh gosh, okay, you have lost your house. So guys, seriously, all this tells you that there is going to be a bigger wave of movement coming in, and you really don't want to do all this. If you want to buy Tesla, wait for it to go down to $92 or even lower. Then when everybody is cutting loss and people say, you know what, let's get off Tesla, this is a bad company, that is where you go and buy some Tesla. Okay, that's my view. I leave it for you to decide. Yeah. So if you look at my TWB chart, it's pretty clear. All right, the rationale why the TWB students are able to succeed in their trading is because they really understand how to apply what they learn. So you take a look here, guys. Since October this year, okay, you can see that my big boys indicator has been red, and of course the KW, the weightage has been red. So all the way itself from October until now, there's no way you can be buying any Tesla share. As a matter of fact, whenever Tesla goes up, right, whenever it goes up like this, is for you to wait for the turn to short it instead. Okay, that means that once it turns down, you short it. You just draw a simple triangle, and once it breaks down, you just have to sell. So at this moment now, the reason why last 2 days I know that Tesla will rebound because my big boys indicator has turned green. So I know that there will be a temporary relief, okay? But my weightage is still there, so which means that even if it goes up, once it goes high a bit, I'll be looking to short it again. So that is how I trade our Tesla shares, okay? So consider this is a very good technique, okay? Now, the thing is this. Other than this Tesla, all right, I've been telling you guys the next counter that I am very concerned is Apple. And one big concern is that Apple has all their so-called, most of their, their parts are being done in China. But the thing is this, okay, China is definitely not doing that well. Now, we all know that the mainstream media is sharing whatever the Chinese government share, but the number of people that's infected or, death is really not equivalent, all right? It means not equal to what the people are saying. So I managed to get this video clips from one of the Indian channel, all right? You can do a Google search, and there were a few videos on this where how they show the people in China. So take a look here and let's watch this. But we get discretionary advice, okay? Because some of the things may not be that nice. All right, let's take a look right now. Here we go.
The first video is from Anshan, a city in the Liaoning province. It shows what resembles a parking lot with a series of dead bodies lying inside caskets. Reports say this video was shot right before they were taken to a funeral home. Have a look.
看看离我啊！哎呦我去，老了，全是啊，全是外头屋里全是冰柜、地库，哎呦我去！
Alright, so you can see that there are actually a lot more video on this, and the people there is really in madness. And these are people not just they're not infected by the virus, but they are actually there to actually get their relatives or their loved one, you know, incinerated, because there's no way the Funnest House are not able to take on the incredible amount of people. All right, this is very horrific. So if you want to watch this, go and go for this particular YouTube channel and watch it. All right, I'm not going to show you all here and get myself into trouble. All right, so this is the thing here. Now, if this is happening in China, then what will happen to Apple? Well, of course, definitely. Think about this. If the people are not able to go to work, or the factory is infected with the virus, or people are very sick right now, seriously, it's going to affect everything. So this is not going to affect only Apple, but it's going to be hitting across the board, especially all the supply chain. So let's take a look right now, everybody. Let's take a look here. Let me just get my mouse ready here. Oops, sorry. Okay. Now let's take a look here. This is Apple share. Now I was saying that Apple should be able to hold at 129. All right, that was what I mentioned a couple of days ago, and Apple was holding it. But last night, Apple plunged below my 129, down by almost 3%. Okay, and wow, look at it. This is bad. So if you look back all the way now, the next support for Apple is going to be here, and that's 123, which is not too far away. Now, of course, again, we are pretty near to the technical point whereby usually there will be a rebound soon. So I'm not half surprised that we may see a touch and go recovery later on today or tomorrow while we're going to celebrate our new year. So I believe that we're going to see this happening. So 123 to 121 can be traded before we see a whole support right at this moment right now. But if you ask me, if let's say we're going to do a hypothesis and say that if this Tesla is going to go down to $92, then I can tell you this, I got a feeling that we can see 115 happening for Apple. And of course, Apple has a bit of weightage in both S&P and NASDAQ, so that means that the index will have some more selling. All right, so this is something that I'm very concerned right now, and I kind of want to warn people that this is not going to be good. Okay. And if you look at it, the fundamental reason is because now Apple come out and says that there's fresh low in line in prediction of the iPhone maker. And of course, as you can see now, that the iPhone estimate continue to fall, meaning that people are expecting Apple not able to produce the number of sets that they want, or what we can say is that the demand is not there. So there is two real concerns right now. And if this is going to continue, I mean, seriously, 115 is just a current estimate. If things can go even worse, we can even see it go below 100. Really, no kidding. And if that happened, that means from where we are right now, it's another 26% drop. And if that's going to be doing, the NASDAQ will break below 10,000. And that's why yesterday in my video, I mentioned that there's a possibility for the NASDAQ to drop to 10,000 and below. Now, the strain are all happening in the credit market. Okay, the power trouble debt in US has more like quadrupled in the past year itself. Okay, now look at it. The distressed bond loans, okay, is really moving up. This is really not good, okay? And this is something from Bloomberg, a direct source. And if you look at it right now, you can see that companies are more leveraged than ever before. The new loans leverage reached a record this year. So look at it, right, guys? It's a new record level. So it's basically like a time bomb waiting to just explode, okay? And once the market realizes this, the capitulation will definitely come in. And this is no joking matter, okay? You think about this. All right, so let's watch this from the Bloomberg channel itself, what they have to say. And of course, this is not going to be nice.
Is there some sort of cliff that we need to be keeping an eye on with regards to the refinancing, with regards to some of these rollovers and companies that may not necessarily find favorable rates?
2024
Like
is really
the cruise industry, perhaps?
Yes. The cruise industry is actually a really interesting one. Working on a separate story about that. But I think it's really important to sort of note that these companies do have some options. A lot of what we've been seeing in the loan market is these amend and extend transactions where companies are pushing out the maturity on their debt. They're paying a little bit more for that. They're not having to come back and get new capital.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's been,
Yeah, I'm sorry. Can we show, I don't know, for our television audience, can we show this chart here? Because in your story, you had something with the most distress, the industries with the most distress,
Yes.
debt, if I get this right. I think real estate was by
Yes.
far the rest, and that's understandable here. But then I look at some of the other names. It was software and services looked like it was sort of next, and then a lot of the retail and discretionary names. Why software? What's happening there? Because I thought most of those companies weren't as indebted as some of the other non-tech companies were.
Yeah, the software services industry has been a little bit of a weak point this year. They have been lagging in returns compared to other sectors. And there are some just weaknesses in terms of demand, especially ones that really thrived during the pandemic and had more of like a stay-at-home focus.
All right, one thing to note here is the real estate, and then I can tell you this, guys, I'm pretty worried what's happening in Singapore right now. In Singapore, we can see that prices for like a mansionette is like $1.3, $1.4 million. I mean, I understand probably the house could be very pretty, it could be excellent, but my point to pay $1.3 to $1.4 million for a HDB flat mansionette, jeez, guys, I think this is really ridiculous, and I believe that this is going to be a repercussion from where it is from US right now, and you hit Singapore just a matter of time. So all these are pretty concerning factor here, and if all this really start to pile up, I think by February to March next year, we can see the full blown of it. And that's the reason why I've been doing this all the way to just gently remind you that be very careful. I'm not saying that the market will definitely crash, but I believe that a 10 to 15% drop from where we are right now is really possible. And of course, at the lower rung, when the price really goes down cheap, like example Tesla go down below $100 or Apple below $100, I think that will be the time whereby you should be buying, because there are more than $3 trillion now outside waiting to come into the equity market. All right, but with the Dow Jones now less than 5 to 10% away from the all-time high, it doesn't make any sense here. And that's the reason why I felt that a good pullback is going to happen, and it should happen so that we can go into buy. All right, so take note of this very important part that I'm trying to explain here. Okay. All right, so let's look at the chart using conventional. Now, yesterday when I did this segment, I got some feedback. They said they like it because rather than only listening to my TWB side, they want to know something more to the conventional side. So let's go. Now, the day before, which is going to show you what happened. The day before, we have seen the chart performing like this, whereby I mentioned that the S&P 500 now has to stay above 3809. All right, that was what I mentioned the day before. And of course, yesterday, last night, okay, look at it. The S&P broke below the important 3809. That is my point, to show you the before and after. So now it's very clear, and it's very evidently clear. The next level it will be 3750 zone. All right, 3750 will be the next zone that I believe is going to go down. All right, and 3750 better hold, because if it doesn't hold, it could flash down all the way to 3658, which is not going to be nice, because that means that we are going to be very near to this point here. Now the 61 point is already at 3726 area. All right, going below it itself, right, it's going to be drastic. So again, but from the moving averages and the RSI reading and the volume at the moment now, all this is very highly possible. All right, and you can if you realize this, it always happens in the evening session itself. Right, this is the Nasdaq the day before, and I mentioned that it has broke below my support at 10,965, and I mentioned that if it continue go, it will see 10,450. All right, so this is what I mentioned the day before. And of course, yesterday we saw the Nasdaq broke down, lost 1.32%, and it's now at 10,680. So we are just basically 200 plus point away from my level. So you can see that whatever I set is really manifesting, and all these are going to be shown to you, right? And last one will be here on the Dow Jones. Now the Dow Jones, FYI, if you take notice from the Dow Jones, the highest point to the lowest point itself, right? We do a Fibonacci. You notice that this is the the 61.8 retracement. Now, the market was actually at this very point was almost just like 5% away from the all-time high, which is a bit ridiculous with what was happening, right? I mean, it's very ridiculous when the economic figures, the data is not doing that well. So once the market realized this, you can see that that's why Morgan Stanley come in to save or sell, and Bank of America come and save or sell, and the market just pull back really fast. But the thing is you can see at the 50% mark, which is at 32,814 level, that is where it got itself very strongly supported, okay? And that was the day before. And I mentioned to you that although it looks good for a recovery, but the indicators doesn't make sense, and of course the fundamental doesn't make sense, and guess what we have, all right? Yesterday was a doji directional day, and the Dow Jones came off down by about 1% or 365 points. And it's just marginally away from the 50% mark once again. Well, take note here, this is the one that I'm very concerned, is the MA200. The MA200 has formed a very strong base at the moment right now, and that's at 32,480 mark. So if the Dow Jones do break below 32,800, the next target should be easily 32,480, and that will be the support for time being. The last time we saw this itself, the market got itself supported and the rebounded came in. But the previous time when the market failed to stay above it, the selling was torrid. So if you look at it right now from this point to here, and from this point to here, if this time is going to break, I'm going to be quite pretty serious that we may even see 28,000 coming in. No kidding, guys. This is you can write it down. If let's say the market really loses the MA200 again, there is a possibility to see a 28,000 coming in, and that is approximately almost 5,000 points from where we are right now. And I've been saying this quite, a few times, and I think that this is all possible. And if you look at it carefully at this junction here as well, right, you can see that we are somewhere around the same point before the market breaks down. So all these has its resemblance, and of course, we need to be very, very careful, okay? All right, let's look at the TWB system and see what we can emphasize or enhance on our view, or maybe deter from our views. Let's take a look here. Now, what we have right now is the Dow Jones with my KFC, right? My Cal flip cycle. And of course, this figure itself is 33,031. And you can see yesterday, the market has broke below it, which is very important because usually when it breaks below it, the next wave will be all the way down to 32,550 level. All right. Okay. So watch out for this. This is the key mark that I've been saying repeatedly many times, 32,550. Okay. Now for China today, you can see the market tries to go above the MA200 but failed, and it have tested the support at MA230, okay, and rebounded. So that's where I said yesterday there could be some support, but today, oh gosh, it has now broke below it. Now this actually tells me that the market have been trying its best to really hold up. But if the market loses the MA200 and loses the MA30, if you look into history, once the market loses both technical point, the selling could be quite bad. All right. So if you ask me, if you're going to put a very simple technical line right now, I'm going to put this in. All right, just going to put a quick one here live to share with you. This is the technical point, and this is going to be the key breaking point. This is the long-term trend line downwards. This is the uptrend line. So I believe that there could be a movement likely at around the early part of the year. So which means that, right, we can actually feel that the current situation could be a repeat of what happened in 2019 to 2020 during the Wuhan time. Don't you think so? Pretty scary, right? So let's watch this, okay? All right, let's look at the TWB chart right now. This is Tesla, I showed you earlier. Let's look at the Dow Jones for today. Now for the Dow Jones for today, let's take a look. The Dow itself is a CCYR positioning, meaning on the day chart, there should be some selling pressure. You can see the word short came out. Now the thing is this, the BNB support level is right here itself at 32,570. And today's pivot 2 is at 32,661. So if that's going to be you're going to force me to forecast the Dow Jones for today, I believe that if the Dow Jones continue to go down, we should see it coming down to 32,661 level. Now, if it stays supported, that should be all for this week, if you ask me. Now, if it breaks below 32,661, then of course the 550 will be the next figure. Now, by right of this, if everything stays bad for the next 2 days, then we may able to see all the way down to 31,660, because that is the extension from the BNB itself. KSI and KRW both are red, confirms that the selling is not going to stop near term. All right. For the Nasdaq, as you can see yesterday, I already told you the red arrow appears on the screen, so that's why we should stay as a seller. And you can see on screen right now that the market broke below the support level, and that's why the Nasdaq continued to fall. So all this information you can get from us, all right, in the TWB version 6, all right. So based on this, I'm pretty confident that there is going to be a chance to see 10,511 traded. Now, of course, Apple may rebound on technical, and that may bring up the Nasdaq again. But if you look at it from the longer view, it's pretty silly to be buying any technical rebound. Even there will be one, it could be a buy today and sell tomorrow thingy. So if you ask me, 10,511 should be the next target for Nasdaq. S&P 500, well, you can see pretty clear that the S&P, just delete some charts lines away. I think it's kind of cluttered. Okay, here we go. This is the BNB RL and this is the BNB SL. Now, you can see that the red arrow was there. So that's why yesterday was a good sell. The red arrow appears 2 days ago. That's why I call for a sell. And I know that the market will continue to drop, and it's happening right now. So watch this, guys. This is the BNB support level at 37.61 for the S&P. KSI, KRW, both are red. So the downside pressure will likely happen. But if you ask me, if the market loses the support level at 37.61, 36.30 will be next. And of course, with what I'm saying now, if Apple potentially going down, Tesla going down, that means that Microsoft, Google, likely they will also be hit. Okay, it's just a matter of time. All right, because at the moment, the current yield itself is not doing that well. Let me bring in the yield just to show it to you right here. Let's take a look on TradingView, and you can see this. Okay, now this is the 10-year yield yesterday. We see a bit of pullback because it's like a bit of profit taking, but it's like preparing for the big one. So once the market breaks above the 33.9% level, I really believe that this is going to march up all the way back to the 4.3. And I still believe that we will see the 4.5 by probably by March next year itself, right? Because I don't think the US bonds going to do any better. All right, this is my personal view. Okay, so that is the S&P 500. Let's look at the Nikkei. For the Nikkei today, it has already tested the, okay, let's take away some of the lines away. These are all the old lines. All right, okay, here we go. All right, so we can see on the Nikkei today, 2 days ago, it hit the BNB RL level perfectly and pulled back. And today, it has marched down all the way to the BNB support level. So if you sell here and you buy back here, you can make your money in just 3 simple days. Now, the thing is this, KSI is red. KRW is starting to lose strength. So you ask me, right, if the Nikkei loses the BNB support level, and that's 25,952, we should be able to see the Nikkei coming down to 25,305 mark. Okay, all right, this is something to take note of that. Now, if you look at the dollar yen right now, the dollar yen itself has started to pull back. Today, the dollar yen is an inverse pivot. And if the market really goes what I believe, all right, then of course it may come down all the way to 128. But the thing is this, if you ask me, with the dollar strengthen up, right, then the dollar yen should find strength. So if the dollar yen finds strength, it should be able to go back to 135.19 level. All right. All right. So that will be the Nikkei. And for the Hang Seng at the moment right now, let's take a look. For Hang Seng, the BNB RL, which is at 19,749, has been a very, very strong resistance. Yesterday, it broke above it, right? It broke above it, but very incredibly, it actually closed down. That means that it went up first, right? Break the stops here, which take out all the short sellers. Then it reversed all the way down to close below the BNB RL level. And today, you can see very clearly it's staying resisted. Okay, so this actually tells me that near-term wise, Hang Seng has great difficulty to cross 19,749. Hence, therefore, there is a chance to see coming back down to 19,190. But the KSI and the KRW are very, very positive right now. So you can see that the last few weeks, right, the market just couldn't go down. Even when it pulls back, right, I'll tell people this pullback must be very careful, because anytime the market break out, it will go up, and really it all happened. So again, with such indicator itself, it will make your trading much better, because traditional indicator were pointed downwards and will ask you to sell, but not ours, because we were looking to buy instead. So this is the big difference between us versus the other indicators. All right. Now for oil market, let's take a look right now for oil. Now this is clear. The market has pulled back, all right? It's a bit of pullback at the moment, but my KSI and my KRW both are in the positive shape. So I believe that once oil breaks above 79.50 to 79.29 again, we can see the oil coming back up to 80.65 zone. Now, of course, the midterm resistance will be the BNB RL, and that's 82.72 at the moment. Now, of course, if the economy is not doing well, likelihood the crude oil price will be pressed down, as we're seeing right now. So I'm going to tell you this. My view is that in the next few months, crude oil will still go up, and I got this feeling that it may cross $100, but it will not be able to help the situation here, because probably the energy company will do well, but it will actually, because of the high energy cost, it will actually hit the market even worse. And with the yield going up itself, the technology company will not do well, and with the China issue right now, the supply chain itself will not be able to send or do things. All these will bring things bad. So I'm going to put my buy limit order at $71. If you're going to be coming down, if ever come down, this will be a very good buy level if you ask me. Or if you want to buy the near term, you can buy the BNB support level at $76, but I'm still prefer to buy at $71, okay? So it's likely a pull down first, then a recovery, or go all the way to $100. That's my view. So if you can buy here yourself and go to $100, that's a very big gain. $30 gain on $70 is going to be nearly 50% return. All right. So that is the oil market. Let's look at the gold market right now. Let's take a look. This is gold. Now, gold, I already tell you guys there's a strong resistance at this 1810. And although there are several times the market broke above it, but end of the day, it pulls back. All right. Now, KSI is actually red. I think I'm just missing out. Okay, I think there's an issue here. So let me just, is KRW. Okay, here we go. This should be the right one. Apology. All right, so KCX is blank, so that it means that it's actually pretty bullish right now. So you can see from this November until now, the KCX has been blank, so that means it's very bullish. You can see whenever KCX is blank and it's green in KSI, bang, the gold price shoot up, right? So the thing is that now the KSI is red, means the boys are selling. You can see that that's where it basically impedes its upside. So of course, if any time the KSI turn green and this is still blank, then you can see the gold shooting up. But if any time the KCX turns blue and the KSI is staying red, then a pullback all the way down to the support level here is 1765 is most likely going to happen. Okay, so traders, watch out for this. And for silver, let's take a look right now. Silver is now basically having a bit of support level at this point, and that's at $23.51. Now, every time when the market comes here, it actually do a rebound because the boys are buying, and KCX is blank, so that means that's pretty bullish right now. But if you ask me, if you're going to be buying a good level that I think that will be very comfortable, mostly going to make money, I think it'll be a BNB support level at $22.16. Okay, all right. So at the moment now, it's going to be sideways. If you can buy it here. All right. Last two is the Bitcoin and Ethereum. I know this video is a bit long, but you can understand that there's so much thing to share with you, and I really want you guys to really perform and make good money out of this, okay? So watch this video to the end. So the thing is this right now, Bitcoin is coming off, right? It's coming off right now. It has lost the BNB support level, which is at 16,593, okay? Slightly below right now. So I believe that if the dollar can continue climbing, if it climbs, all right, it will be going back to 16220. So how's the US dollar at the moment right now? Let's take a look at the US dollar. All right, the US dollar at the moment now, let's take a look, is basically hanging around here itself, but the reversal, BNB, tells me that there could be a upside on the dollar soon. I still believe that the dollar going back to 105 level, and of course that will add pressure to some of the currency. I'll come to that very shortly. All right, so that is my view on the Bitcoin. Let's look at Ethereum. So Ethereum breaks down and is now trading below the support level, the BNB support level. Hence, 1166 should be one. But KSI and KCX basically having a bit of mixed signal here itself, so likely going to hang around here, but 1166 should be the target. All right, earlier I was just talking about the dollar, and I was just sharing with you guys that how I feel about it. So if you look at the pound most likely going to come back down to 11878 level, because I believe the dollar is going to go up. And of course the euro now is been sideways, and but once you break the support level here, you're going to go down to 1.0539. all right, KSI is green, so that's holding up, but I still think it's going to come down. And last but not least is Aussie dollar. Aussie dollar has been going up interestingly, because the commodity prices is going up a little bit, but the KSI is red. So that means that anytime if the market loses 0.67, there could be a pullback all the way down to the BNB support level, and that should be about 0.6650. All right, about 100 pips from where we are. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed this video. It's been long, as I said, but there's so much great information. I hope you like it. It's Claus signing off. Tomorrow will be a big video. Watch it. All right, see you then. Bye-bye.